Here we are, 6-2. It was good to get back on track. Sunday night was an electric atmosphere. I thought the team showed, some resiliency. That's kind of what we always kind of talk about, being able to show consistency, resiliency, able to do that, kind of fight back, being down 7-0. Just thought we didn't play our brand of football in that first half, but guys came back out and started throwing some good punches and started stacking it. Find a way to kind of get the dub done. Obviously, it was good to get the win, but we kind of had a little tough with some injuries, and we'll kind of see how those kind of continue to play out throughout the week. We'll end up going 0 for 2, but it was good to see him bounce back, to be able to kind of come through on 3 for 3 with the PATs, and he's hard on himself, and I try to help him out so he don't beat himself up too much, because he's done an unbelievable job up to this point. He'll continue to do that. His confidence is unwavered. It'll always be there, supreme confidence. And so with that, we'll get ready to get back to work. Looking forward to starting a little 3-game road stretch to face a pretty good Jacksonville Jaguars team.
And Matt, is the expectation that you have to bring in a new kicker and long snapper this week?
Yeah. We're still kind of evaluating through that process right now, just in terms of what's that going to look like for us throughout the week. Right now, Poe's got to kind of have a procedure on his hand to get done, so the long snapper thing will be for sure. We're still kind of working through Will's injury right now to see if it's a possibility for him to kind of make it this week. But, we'll see how that ends up turning out. The injury report will come out tomorrow.
What's it like for you to have to potentially replace 2/3 of your kicking off?
Yeah, that's it's tough. It's tough, especially when it's at the kicker and really the kicker and the snapper position, because that kind of is that kind of requires the most kind of being in sync for the most part. So luckily, Mr. Wright is a pretty good communicator, and we'll kind of lean on him to be able to kind of help out. Depending on who the snapper is, hopefully we'll find a guy that does a great job of communicating and kind of able to show some leadership in that room, whether it's a vet or a young guy has some experience in this league. But that's why you get labeled the title of coach. So, got to do an unbelievable job of coaching these guys up and try to get it together. And, hopefully we'll be able to find a nice, good, consistent operation with whoever's in there.
Will is able to push through this week or not? Do you think you need like a backup plan here as well?
Yeah, for sure. Especially when you kind of start getting into the soft tissue injuries, you definitely don't want to go into it with the expectations of Will going this week, and Friday comes around and it's he's not feeling his best, or we don't want to put him out there to where he's not in the. We're basically compromise. He's at a compromise where we don't want to force him out there or put him in a bad situation. So yeah, it'll probably be best for us to try to bring some guys in, work them out, and if there's an opportunity for us to possibly have to sign a guy, get him to the practice squad in the event that Will can't go, we'll probably end up going that route.
How active are you in those discussions with who's available, who's out there?
Very, 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 yeah. And so there's some guys out there who I have confidence in that can come in and get the job done on a possible short week. So we're still working kind of through that right now as we kind of figure out what's the injury situation looking like for Will.
Yeah, Will, what was kind of the process like in game of figuring out that he was dealing with something?
Yeah, so he missed the first 2 field goals, and it wasn't until the first PAT. After he hit that PAT, he came to me and said that he felt his quad tighten up. Is what he said. He's like, I feel like my quad just tightened up on me right there. And so that's when we kind of got alerted to it, and he kind of started limping a little bit, and said that he needed to put a sleeve on it. So that right there was really kind of the first mention of the quad kind of tightening up and kind of being a little bit of an issue for him. But man, that dude is tough as all get out. He managed to kind of grind it out and kind of get through the game, still be able to hit the kickoff balls that we needed him to, and still be able to put 2 more extra points up and through the post for us. So I'm appreciative, of him just kind of grinding it out when things started to get a little bit tough for him out there.
after the game, Will had mentioned that I'd felt soreness going into the game on that leg. Had he mentioned anything like that to you guys before?
Nah. The training staff didn't mention anything to it. Will didn't bring that up to us during the week. I thought he had one of his best sessions really Friday, because we always kick Wednesdays and Fridays here. And, he was striking the ball really well. Went to our normal routine, nothing more, nothing less. So, yeah, that the quad kind of, not feeling the best was kind of the first mention of it that I heard when he said he felt the tightness Sunday night.
Now, with the practice week being what it is, how important is it to get somebody in here in time for practice tomorrow?
Yeah, that's going to be critical for sure. Which is, we're looking to try to bring in some guys and work them out and navigate through who's the best guy out there on the streets to kind of come in. And if for whatever reason Will isn't able to go this week, that guy can kind of step in the role to help us find a way to win a football game on Sunday. Because the kicker position is probably one of the most critical. So we definitely want to make sure we get the right guy in here in the event that we do need him.
You said
do
you
you think
felt the Titan on the first extra point.
Yep.
So the misses had nothing to do with the quad, or?
Nah, from my understanding, no. No, the first one, the free bet that I got from Will was at the very first, the 53-yarder. He said that he thought it felt great coming off the foot. The second one, he said he didn't hit it well at all. The 31-yarder was just a bad miss hit, but he felt great about the first one, and the quad didn't come up until the extra point. So no, there isn't really any correlation with the quad in the first two misses from what Will told me.
Now, do you think the kicker injuries are more common these days with the legs being what they are, the leg strength being what it is?
Yeah, for sure. You're definitely seeing an uptick in kicker injuries for sure. You look at it kind of around the league. Greg Zerline's on IR, Prater's on IR. Greg Joseph just went to IR, and so it's a lot of kicker injuries happening. Maybe it's more, it's a result of more 50-plus yard field goals being hit, and as a result of that, maybe you're practicing and working more 50-yard field goals during the week, and so as a result, the tax the leg and those soft tissue injuries start to kind of build up, as we're getting deeper and deeper into the season. So something like that could arise, especially when you start talking about these kickers. You really have to have a strong coat on these guys, because they will kick until they can't, literally till their leg falls off. So you really have to make sure you kind of monitoring those guys, especially the young ones who feel like they young whippersnappers and they can just kick until their leg falls off. So definitely got to be smart with that and hold them accountable for sure.
With Poe and just how stabilizing of a dude in that room, it seems like he's been for a year and a half. At least I've been here. For him to be hurt, just how tough.
Yeah, it's devastating, honestly, Alec, as you look at really just from a intangible standpoint of what this guy brings to the room, his intelligence, what he sees on film, how he's able to communicate to guys. We'll work through what that procedure looks like for him and what the timeline looks like they could possibly end up missing. But when we do get him back, I told him we need him, in the meeting rooms, in the building, still carrying out the same process, still having the same communication that he's been having, still being a part of the operation. But it's definitely going to be a hit to our team just from a leadership standpoint and what he brings.
And if Will was having soreness last week, would you have expected that information to get to you, or does it?
Yeah, for sure. Communication is at the top of our pyramid or philosophy or whatever you want to call it. And, we do an unbelievable job here from myself to Tyler and the training staff to KO. We have a great network of communication going on. So if there was ever anything going on with a player from an injury standpoint, I would be really the second to know behind KO. So, yeah.
Now, what's the threshold? You mentioned him maybe he gutted it out during the game and trying to gut it out this week. With how important he is to this season and the future, how do you decide can he gut it out?
Yeah, and that's going to be and that's why you build great relationships with players, to build that trust, to build that transparency of communication. You know, I'm gonna know. Will's gonna know. You know, he never wants to. Obviously, he doesn't want to. You know, he'll say let the team down, but obviously, you know, we got to protect his future. You know, it's a long season. You know, we're in it for the long run, not for the short term. And so, if for whatever reason he doesn't feel like he is, you know, himself out there, or he doesn't feel like he's gonna give himself, you know, the best opportunity to succeed out there, then that'll be a conversation that me and him will have to have, a tough one. And if we have to put him on ice, then we'll put him on ice until he feels as though he's 100% confident in his ability to go out there and put it through the uprights as he's done consistently throughout the year. And so that'll be a conversation that we'll be needing to have here very soon, just, you know, so we know, you know, in what direction we need to go in.
As the turnover guy, what have you seen from Byron Murphy Jr. just in the way that he's made game-changing plays, and obviously did that again the other
Yeah, if you ask me, and you know, defensive guys might have their own opinion on it, but I think Murph probably has the best hands, hand-eye coordination. He's got the best hands on the team, and you can see that just his ability to locate the ball, high point the ball. You know, all the interceptions that he has. You know, he did kind of miss a couple early in the season, some gimmies that we kind of got on him about because we do believe in the room that he does have the best hands, and so, you know, we always got to catch the ones that get thrown to us, but he does an unbelievable job of tracking it, catching it, and he's been a real bright spot for us in the turnover subject, especially, you know, you look at the punch out that he had versus Green Bay. You know, this guy's starting to kind of become a ball magnet. So appreciative of him. He's very intentional about how he goes about his process week in and week out, especially when we start working those turnover circuits. You know, Murphy's at the front of the room, you know, making sure everybody's all locked in and we're not going through the motions out there as the weeks kind of start to build up on us. Cool. Appreciate y'all.